Food thermoses. Are Expedition food thermoses worth their weight? Let's check this out in this video. So this is one of the food thermoses that I've used before. This Stanley 20 ounce, I don't know if it's got a product number on there here. You can hopefully read it there. Cool, yeah, you can check that out. I've used this in Greenland, in Antarctica, and Yellowstone a couple times. Food thermoses are super nice because when you think, oh yeah, I'm just going to pour the hot water into my bag here and then let it warm up, and then you seal the Ziploc and then it dumps over and the Ziploc fails and spills all of your food all over. Or I've had it where I tear this off, I open it up and the Ziploc literally fails on opening. I don't know what's going on with the manufacturers, but the Ziplocs are starting to get pretty poor. So what I do is I use a food thermos. Now a 20 ounce food thermos, I guess that's 0.59 liters for my metric folks, will hold a standard 4 ounce meal or 138 gram meal in this thing perfectly. Now let me show you the inside of this before I show you the lid. And that's it. It's super, super huge, just vacuous, lots of space, no problems. The lid has the classic Stanley seal on here, closes up. That way I can put my freeze-dried in, I can pour my hot water in, I can seal this thing up, and then if it falls over, no big deal. It can tip over, nothing will happen. If I sit on it, it will hurt my butt. That's literally the only thing that will happen. This thing, I've got to be extremely careful with it, very mindful and cautious. Now, a disadvantage of the food thermos is, of course, once you open this bad boy, if you set it down and it dumps over, all of your food is gone, but really, it's about the same risk as this. Now this thing will keep my food, and it has kept my food incredibly warm at minus 40 degrees. It doesn't stay super warm ultra long, but if I get the food in there quick, get the water in there quick, and immediately stir it so I get the dry spice ball gone, and I can, yeah, see, it's always just a bit of a struggle when you're in a rush, and get this thing sealed up. If I can get this done and do it quick, this thing will stay warm for, the food will still be warm 2 hours later, so that's a huge thing. Now, a lot of these food thermoses come with a built-in spork. Let me tell you, even though Stanley is very thoughtful and they give you a spork to use in this thing, it doesn't fit all the way to the bottom. What are you saying? Watch this. So I've got my gloves on, I've got my liner gloves, I'm sitting in the freezing cold, and I'm trying to dig my food out, and I literally have to stick my hand all the way into the food container. Now, a couple of downsides. One, I'm probably gonna get my gloves dirty. Two, I've got food all over my hand, but most importantly, I've got my grimy hand that I haven't washed in a month inside of my food container. No, don't do that. Instead, get yourself a titanium spoon, not a foldable spoon, but a solid titanium spoon, not a Lexan spoon, not a plastic spoon. Get a metal spoon. See, this guy can go all the way to the bottom, no problem. Titanium, all else equal, is softer than stainless, so generally titanium won't do too much damage at all to the bottom of the stainless. I know, shocker, titanium's softer even though it's lighter. And this I can dig out all day and never put my hand in the food container. Now, why wouldn't you use a plastic spoon or one of these plastic spork jobs? Well, what happens when the plastic breaks or your spoon breaks right at the neck when I've busted my Lexan? You're toast, especially on a long trip. Don't do it. So definitely bring yourself a titanium spoon, maybe an aluminum spoon. This guy, I bought it at REI like, I don't know, 20 years ago. And just as good 20 years later as it is now. Same thing with my food thermos. I've had this for, I don't even know, probably 15 years. This is awesome. For short trips, I do not take the food thermos. Even climbing like in Denali and other mountains, probably not, because this is really heavy. I'll deal with the risk out of eating bags. That's what other people do. What I figured out is the packaging. After 30 days, if I add up all the packaging of this and I weigh it, it's almost as much as a thermos, which is pretty crazy, but I still have to put this food into a Ziploc, which is really light, lighter than the foil. So you have to do some calculus of how much does this weigh versus how much does this weigh and figure that out, plus the risk. Plus this is way bigger volume versus crushing it down to a shrink and to a Ziploc. So food thermos on a winter expedition, even if it's short and you're towing a sled like these boys behind me, oh yeah, bring the food thermos, super recommended. Love it. Please check out links below to my book, Two Friends and a Polar Bear, where we talk about using our food thermoses, and also to aaronlindsdo.com/Greenland, where you can get my complete and ever expanding equipment list for polar exploration. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the video.